and therefore they are not reliable, as I said.
But they still say 6.5% growth. They talk about that.
The last 11 years, the growth rate has been 6%.
Yes.
Static at 6%. We'll come to growth rate later. But the point I'm making is statistics are not dependable. Number two, the direction is not very clear. Number three, wherever even those statistics which can't be doctored, they are not put forth in the public domain. And some very critical figures have not come into public domain since 2022. And my own feeling is that this government is somehow convinced itself that even if you don't do anything, but you do a lot of propaganda of what you're doing, the people will be convinced that something good is happening. And that's something which succeeded for some time. It may not be succeeding now, but succeeded for quite a while. Mm-hmm. And to give you an example, a little away from the economic field, for instance, the Prime Minister is very fond of going abroad, though lately he has not done so because
on 3 occasions he's not
because of President Trump. But we have been led to, people of India have been led to believe that we are Vishwaguru. We are masters of the world. We are nowhere, as you mentioned, we are nowhere compared to the really developed nations. And to give you just one example, we are talking of Vikasit Bharat, a developed India by 2047. Now, every person who knows a little bit of economics is asserting that if we want to become Vikasit or developed by 2047, we must grow at the rate of 8% plus every year.
Right.
In the last 11 years, we have grown at the rate of 6%. So that will show the kind of effort which is needed. But as I said, neither in terms of the direction nor in terms of details for the various sectors of the economy, am I noticing any effort to give that direction to achieve 8% plus growth year after year until 2047. So we are faced again with one more Jumla, Viksit Bharat by 2047. And unfortunately, nobody is delving into the depth of it to find out what it will take to achieve that objective.
There is no roadmap for Viksit Bharat.
There is nothing, no roadmap, either long-term or short-term, to convince the people that a government means business.
PC, what do you mean? How, according to you, has this government performed on the economic front from 2011 to now, 14 to now?
See, this government appears to be running, but there is a difference between running on a road and running on a treadmill.
Mm-hmm.
You are running, but on a treadmill, you stay where you are.
Okay.
If you're running on a road, you will move forward. See, this government is as good as no government. I'm convinced that even if there's no government in India,
they'll still grow
India
at 6%.
will grow at 5.5%, because the people will grow crops, they will produce something, they will trade.
Domestic consumption will ensure that.
There's no government required. And as Yashwantji said, you see, they are manipulating the statistics. 2004 to 2014, IMF, World Bank accepted the statistics and said in those 10 years of the UPA government, the growth was 7.5%.
Yes.
What these guys did was they revised it downwards to 6.7%. Now the official statistics will show 6.7%.
They've changed the base year.
They've changed the base year. They have adjusted 6.7%. On the 6.7% lower base, as Yashwantji said, in the last 11 years, they have grown at sub 6%.
Oh, I see.
In fact, 2014 to 19, they grew at 6.1%. And since 2019, this year's result to be excluded, they have grown at only 5.2 or 5.3. So for the 11 years, they have grown at sub 6% on a lower base. Now, at 6% growth rate, we will never become anything other than a lower middle income country. We are in the trap. Lower middle income country. We won't break through the lower middle income country and become a middle income country and then a high growth country. At this rate, we are hopeless. Unemployment will rise. Poverty, relative poverty will be reduced, but in terms of comparison with other countries, we will still be poor. And jobs won't be made. Even today, only a small percentage of people are regularly employed. Others are all irregular employment, no social security, no statutory protection. But what...
And also underemployed. Those who are employed are also underemployed.
For example, if you have two people working on a farm and one guy comes, unemployed guy comes back to the farm, you have technically three people working on a farm, but three people working on a farm is not employment as such.
That's right.
Similarly, if you work in a shop belonging to an uncle, because uncle is obliged to carry you on the rolls, but that is not employment, much less regular employment. We are caught in a trap of low growth, widening inequality, and stagnant level of standard of life. So this is where we are.
And there's no focus on how we should be growing in the years to come and what policies to be put in place. I want to give you a statistic which is very alarming. There are 900...
Even before the second phase of voting is over.
Well, that's their opinion, their analysis, their reporters go there, they give feedback.
No, because the media houses have been taken over by corporates. Isn't that true?
That's absolutely true.
It's absolutely true. So what else would you expect? I'll tell you a story. I was in the Press Club of India in Delhi, and we had gone to address along with Arun Shourie and Prashant Bhushan on some issue. So at the end of it, when we were having tea, I casually said, I don't know, we have done our bit, but whether the newspapers or media houses will carry what we have said. There was a young journalist who was listening to this, and he told me, sir, would you give me a job if I lost mine as a result of publishing your story?
Yes.
That's correct. That's correct.
And I could do nothing except to, put my hands together and say, please save your job. Don't forget about our story.
Naturally.
Now, this is what is happening to the media at the lower levels. On top, there are corporates, and only those people are flourishing who are prepared to go on with this narrative and contribute to it.
Senior journalists have been sacked once the corporates took over, and they don't have a job.
That's true.
They are running YouTube channels or reporting from some foreign. I don't want to take names, but the names are well known. The most prominent Hindi journalist is without a job.
Yeah.
The most prominent Indian anchor is without a job. Indian anchors are without a job. This is worse for newspapers. Fortunately, the language newspapers, non-Hindi newspapers, are relatively safe because he doesn't feel threatened by the non-Hindi language newspapers because he has no control over those state governments.
That's
the state
correct. That's correct.
But the Hindi newspapers and the English newspapers are entirely captured by the
But
government.
that's simple. The reason is that they earn their revenues only through government ads. It's as simple as that. Today, the revenues coming to these channels is not from viewership or advertisement, it's from government ads. And if otherwise they'll close. So they'll have to
Government
collaborate.
ads or corporate ads, which
Supporting.
corporates are obliged
supporting.
to the
That's
government.
obviously, it's a nexus between the media, the oligarchs in the corporate sector, and the government. And that's how you got the electoral bonds also. So this is that nexus, and you can't break that nexus. Previously, that didn't exist, but today it exists.
You can, if the people of this country vote in state election after state election before 2029, if they vote for a non-BJP party, then you can break this nexus before 2029. Otherwise, this nexus is unbreakable until 2029.
Quite frankly, PC, the nature of the Indian economy, according to me, has become so oligarchic that now just a few houses control the assets of this country.
Yes.
And it's going to be very difficult for any government which comes to power to break that. Because if they try to break that, the economy will go down. So in a sense, it's a very, very serious issue. And I just wanted to close this discussion with your comments on the nature of the new oligarchic network, economic oligarchic network that's set.
As you said, it's an extremely dangerous development which has taken place. The oligarchs are not many.
Yes, exactly.
There are only a few of them, a couple of them maybe,
Yes.
But they control the government, they control the bureaucracy,
Yes.
they control the policies of the government. This is the most dangerous thing,
That's right.
that they control the formulation of policies.
Right.
I know of one of these oligarchs who first, before he enters field of economic activity, gets all the parameters right by changing the policy.
Right.
And then he is assured of his profits, and that's when he goes into it. So there is no risk taking
Right.
on the part of
And no
these.
competition.
No competition.
That's right.
The rules and regulations are rewritten now.
Right.
For example, land rules are rewritten, environmental rules are rewritten, listing rules are rewritten. The institutions are no longer independent. The institutions simply bend over to whatever the government wants. ECI is the one prominent example, but the SEBI, RBI are no longer as fiercely independent as they were even 10, 15 years ago.
But what
I'm
about-
worried about the RBI and the SEBI.
See, now what is happening in the NCLT is also very disturbing. Because if the